Hey everyone. Good morning. Oh yes, we're very excited this morning because it's snowing. It's snowing out and it's October 30th. So it's not a first for here, but it's unusual for us to have snow before Halloween. We usually get one snow before the Christmas holidays, really just one, and then we get all our snow in February. Good morning, everyone. I don't know what it's doing outside at your home, but we're getting some snow and it looks really pretty, although kind of off because we're still getting ready for Halloween, which is tomorrow. Oh, you had snow in there too? In New York, right? You're in New York, Lori Jo, right? It's Schenectady. So we're experiencing it's cold. It rained all day yesterday and the day before, so it's not like we didn't anticipate it. It just got a little bit cooler, and then now we got snow. So, -3 in Canada. Yikes. Wow. That's crazy. So anyway, yesterday I mentioned to you that if I could get my butt out of the house, I was going to present candy wrappers, and I did get my butt out of the house, and I started to work on the candy wrappers, and then I started thinking, tomorrow is Halloween. We have trick-or-treaters coming, and they'll be just about done when we start the show. But I thought, hey, I think maybe do the candy bar wrappers tomorrow, and only because when I went to the store and I got a bunch of different size candies and stuff, we're gonna do them tomorrow. I didn't get to Michael's. No, I went to Walgreens and got some candy. There's surprisingly few candy bars that are like this. Oh my gosh, are you guys still there? I don't know what happened. Are you still there? Oh, okay. So yeah, I did get out, but I didn't get to. You got notification. I think it's because I changed my my page from the new view to the old view. So I'm glad that people are still there. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty, so I'm glad you're still there. So anyway, I did get out yesterday. You don't have any electricity. Oh, terrible, Ladra. Oh. So I did get out. Yeah. Hi, Sarah. You saw that. Yeah. Okay, good. So I got out, I went out to Walgreens and I got a whole bunch of different candy bars, and I was like, this will be really cute. We can do candy bars tomorrow. Actually, this is missing a little piece for the stem, but I was actually pretty surprised at how few candy bars there are left, because they're all like differently shaped. And so then I started thinking that there were like king size bars, and then there were like kind of thicker bars and stuff. So I started thinking, we probably need to we need to spend a little more time on this than we had originally than I had originally anticipated, because there are Christmas ones, there's a Thanksgiving one. So in addition to a whole bunch of great Halloween ones, there's some for the Christmas holidays. And I thought these would be great little gifts to give to, I don't know, the postman who've been working really hard. And I usually put out food for my package deliverers, so I could put these out on the stoop. So, but what we'll do is there is a whole group of candy bar wrappers, images. I can show you where to find them. But today, I thought that I would do these Luminaria, or they're just like paper bag lanterns, and they're just so cute. And I had a bunch of this Halloween paper that I figured I need to use this. Got this great one here, and look at this one with the ghosts and stuff. And these are pretty small, and you could put one of those tea lights in there. I used that orange vellum that I had, and here's another one. There's actually 4 different designs, and excuse me. And this uses my scoring or the scoring wheel, or you can also use your scoring stylus. So I thought that would be a nifty lesson to sort of end the week with, and when we'll reserve those candy bar wrappers until tomorrow night, Halloween night. And I hope you can join me because we're going to have fun at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So anyway, let's see. What was I going to tell you about? Okay, so let me just go on here and show you all 4 of these. There's 4. There's a Halloween haunted house, I guess. There's this one, which is a ghost. There's a spider web. And then the other one, which I didn't have cut out, is this Black Widow spider. So let's see. These are really a lot of fun. I resized them so that they would be using like a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And then I thought, if you wanted to make them bigger, I have really big steps, and I thought maybe I would make them bigger. I could use 12 by 24 inch paper, and I might try that too, but these are really cute. Yeah, I'm still having date night on Saturday night, and we are going to do the candy bar wrappers. Okay, so, and the great thing about the candy bar wrappers is there's a ton for like the winter holidays. There's a snowman, there's like just a little package, there's Santa Claus, and then there's also a Thanksgiving turkey, and then there's a bunch of Halloween ones. And so we're going to do all kinds of them tomorrow, and I have a couple of different size candy bars that we're going to do. Okay, so let me just, before, if you got to do something tonight, before Halloween tomorrow, if you want to do the candy bar wrappers, let me show you where you would find them. If you go to images and we go to image sets, just type wrapper, and you will see, because if you go to regular images and you type wrapper, what will come up is a lot of cupcake wrappers, and we don't want to do cupcake wrappers, but there are these 3 different kinds of candy bar wrappers. There's the holiday one, there's every day, and then there's a celebration candy bar wrappers. I was playing with this one yesterday, the holiday one, and there are so many of them, and what I found out, there's like 3 different sizes of the same thing. So like, for instance, there's the snowman, and if you keep looking, where am I going to find the other snowmen? Oh, look at that adorable Santa Claus. And there's the turkey, but I'm trying to find the snowman it's supposed to be 3. Oh, there's the snowman in the king size, I believe. And they have another size. So here's the Halloween that I cut out. And then this one is chunkier. And then they have like a king size one here. So here, and can I get them all in the same? Nope, I can't. So, but anyway, they're okay. Here, look at the Frankenstein. So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of the same image or project, but in 3 different sizes. And so I was on the hunt yesterday for the 3 different sizes, and I only found 2. I found like the regular candy bar and then the king size, and then I didn't find the chunky one. I don't know what this one here. This is the chunky one. So this is for the regular candy bar, and this is for the king size, I believe. And then this, I don't know what that's for. So we'll make all 3, and we'll kind of play around with it. But I only got, can you adjust the size if it doesn't fit? Yeah, you could for sure. Oh, a Twix bar. Okay, so when I go back out today, I'll get some Twix bar. Yeah, because when I went to Walgreens and they got a pretty big candy selection, and I'll, look for bars in particular, and I got the big ones and then the regular size ones, and then I'm like, I know there's 3 different kinds. I probably should have brought them. Anyway, so we are going to do this tomorrow night, but if you need to do them before then, just go to image selection and choose wrapper and skip the cupcake wrappers, but you'll see holiday, and then there's this everyday one, which there looks like there's a taco there, which is kind of funny. This is really actually a cute idea. So if you want to give somebody like a gift card with a candy bar, like for instance, ticket to the movies or something, like a gift certificate to the movies, you could give them that little candy bar that looks like a ticket. Or maybe a restaurant, there's another one for ticket, or a restaurant type of thing. You could give them tacos or a game, maybe, or a gift card. I think that would look really cute with gift cards. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I want to go to image sets and show you where to find these Luminaria, which they're in a group of images. It's actually a couple years old, this image set. It's called Monster Bash. When you type in monster, you come up with some pretty fun monstery things to look at. But this is the one we're going to today, called Monster Bash. So it's been around a little while, and they have some pretty neat images here. That this is where I got the Luminaria from. But you might want to look at this project grouping, because look, there's the candy corns, like we made the candy corn banner, and actually they did a banner in the candy corns, which is pretty awesome. And then you'll see there's a couple of interesting boxes. So here is, I think this is a Raven box. What is it? Square box with the raven. Okay. And what you could probably do is, if you like any of these individual images, you could probably put them onto these images, but there are indeed 4 that are already for you. There's this one, which is a spider web, and there's that box for the spider web. But then if you scroll down even further, there's the haunted house, and there is the Black Widow, and then there's this really spooky ghost. Okay, so I'm going to pull one of those in so you can have a look. Let me see if I can't. I'm having mouse issues today. I have so many issues, I guess. Anyway, so let's move these over. They do come in a little on the small side. And if you wanted to do these for the joy, you could cut them actually this way. However, it has a lot of scoring in it, and so I would use I think it was Terry. I might be wrong, but Terry, instead of scoring, she changes the scoring on a project to drawing, and she draws it with a light colored marker, and then this is with the joy, and then she knows where to hand score it. I thought that was a brilliant idea to overcome the fact that the joy doesn't do scoring. So you might want to consider that. Now, because I'm doing this on the larger machine, I'm going to do it on my Maker. I'm going to show you how to do it with the scoring wheel. But if you have an Explore, you can also do it with your scoring stylus. Now, I don't use the scoring wheel all that much, and only because I have to, stop and put in the wheel. And if you don't even know what I mean by that, the Maker comes with this grouping of it doesn't come with, but there are tools that are additions that you can add to your maker, and it's called adaptive tool system, and they all have these little like cogs, almost like a watch works or something like that, cogs. And this one here is the adaptive tool system. It presses down and you can change out the tips. And there are a number of tips, including this one, which is the scoring wheel. And actually there's two scoring wheels. This one is the 01, which has one wheel. And then there's an 02 that has two wheels. And that's for like cardboard, glitzy kind of like a sparkle paper, shimmer paper, that sort of thing. But I generally just use the 01, and I want to show you how to do that on the maker. And then if you don't have a maker yet, don't worry, because we can do this with the stylus. The only difference here is that the stylus doesn't have the same pressure as the scoring wheel does. And so the stylus doesn't make as deep of a score, but it's still legible, and you can still use it. So don't, if you have an Explorer and you're like, I don't have a scoring wheel. No, it's okay. Just get the scoring stylus if you don't have it already. You don't have to upgrade your machine to a maker to achieve this, but I want you to see and understand the difference between the three machine families. There's the Maker, there's the Explore family, which is a lot of different machines, and then there's the Joy. So they each have their own little merit, and today we're going to highlight the Maker. But I'm going to show you, as I mentioned, with scoring using a pen and then hand scoring for the Joy, but with the Explore you use the stylus. Okay, so when these come in, they are pretty small, and I thought, well, let's make them bigger. Now, there are two parameters that you need to consider with the Explore or the Maker, and that is that you can't go any larger on a 12 by 12 mat. You can't go any larger than 11 and a half. But you could, if you have a 12 by 24 inch mat, those longer mats, you can stretch out an image. And this is kind of a perfect image for that. So if you wanted to make this larger, for instance, here, I could make it as large as 17 and a half inches, but the height, so one of the parameters cannot exceed 11 and a half, right? Because the mat is 12 inches wide by 24 inches long. And so when this went on a mat, it would turn this piece, and let me just show you what I mean. You'll get a message that says one of your images is larger than 11 and a half inches, okay? Do you want to continue with the larger mat? So if you ever get this message and you don't have a larger mat, you need to go back and resize your image to less than 11 and a half inches, okay? So if you don't have the larger mat, and maybe sometimes your image, you think 12 inches because the mat's 12 by 12, but it's really, when you look at a mat, there's only, it's really like 11 and a half. That's the maximum you can go on one of those parameters. But if you have the larger, 12 by 24, let me show you what it looks like. So here's the 12 by 24. It's turned it sideways. You see that? That's what I'm trying to mention. You can only go 11 and a half inches wide for both of the parameters, or you can go one parameter larger, but the second parameter can't be more than 11 and a half. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know if it makes sense to you guys, but I started thinking about them. And I kind of like them at this 11 and a half inch. So I'm going to resize them. and I have all this fun paper, so I want to use the fun paper for the outside. And then this part is a piece that goes on, and I use that orange vellum that I printed on my printer, so I could do that. If you didn't have orange vellum, I happen to have printed it for that trick or treat that we were doing earlier in the week, but if you have regular vellum, that would work too. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this sort of fun Halloween paper that I have, and then I'm going to cut out the black pieces, and I could cut out the orange pieces, but to be honest, I already have them printed, and I'm just gonna like hand cut it, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at these images. I want to make this one bigger so you can kind of see. So the way that it comes in, ungroup like this, it comes in, there's two pieces. This is the main piece, and you'll see all of the scoring on here, and it kind of looks like a paper bag. And that's why I called the today's show paper bag Luminaria, or paper bag light. And they have like this little like a paper bag, a little triangle shape, so that its bottom is completely flat, and then you can put your LED light in there. I probably wouldn't put candles in there, but that's up to you. What I figured is I'd make a whole bunch of these and put them on each of my steps, because I do have 10 very wide steps. So I think I'll put them on the steps as long as it's not too windy or raining. That's what I'll do. So I need to make, I think, 16 of these today. So that's what I'm going to be doing later on today. And so I have a bunch of just sort of Halloween paper from years ago that I could make these into, and I'm going to show you how that works. And because of that, that's why I choose the 11.5 inches. This is just simply cut out. I cut them all out in black because I kind of wanted some, symmetry there. Yes, you absolutely could, Dorothy. So if you wanted to make a treat bag, it's a great idea. Is what you can do is you can fill in the hole. This hole right here, you could fill it in. Let me show you how to do that, because it's a little bit tricky, okay? What you want to do is you want to detach this, because all of these lines are scoring and they're attached to the paper, but you cannot use contour unless you have just one process. So it can only be cut. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to detach this, which is down here on the right at the bottom. We'll detach. Okay. And then what we can do is go to the score on the right hand side, and we can hide it, so that now we can just choose the paper bag, okay? We don't want to eliminate it. We're just hiding it, okay? And then we make sure this is selected, and we choose contour, because contour comes up as an option whenever you can do it. Now, if we had left that paper bag on there, we could also do contour, as long as we make sure that we're working on that bag and not on the scoring, okay? But you definitely have to detach them. Then you would hit contour, and it would bring it up. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see. And all you would have to do is click on this inside piece and come back. And now you have a bag that will be a treat bag, which you can then reattach those score lines, and you're all set to make a bag, right? So you can do this as a treat bag, or you can do this as a Luminaria, and now you know how, right? And so I'm going to go back because we're working on the Luminaria, but if you want to do the treat bag, perfect way to do it. Oops, let me just go back. Okay, here we go. Are we attached? No, we're not attached. Attach. Okay. All right, so I mentioned that I was going to use the orange vellum that I had printed earlier in the week. So, but if I were going to cut the vellum, here's what I would do on this project. So this is the face of the bag. So it covers that hole, you see? There's the hole there. So it's the face here. And then I have vellum behind it. And if you were going to cut the vellum, here's what I would do anyway, is I would duplicate whatever the face of it was. So here's my spider web. I would duplicate it, and then I would hit contour again, and I would hide all the contours. And what that does is it leaves just the outside edge of the contour, and this would be my vellum piece. So it matches this one exactly, you see, but then I would change this color so that it would print on it would cut on a different mat. Does that make sense? So this is what I would do if I were cutting all three pieces together. But today I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna cut it by hand because, to be honest, it's actually much easier to cut it by hand. So, but if you wanted to cut it on your machine, that's how you would do it. And so I'm just gonna eliminate that. So let's go ahead and make this, get this ready to make. Since I need so many of them, I'm tempted to do 2 on this, but because time is always a factor, I'll just do 1. But if I were making a lot of them, which I am going to be doing later, I'd probably do 2 so that I can get the best use out of my 8.5 by 11 inch black paper. So here is 2, and then I would cut out 2 in either different or same the same patterned paper. Okay, so we're just going to do 1 today, and then here is that paper bag part. You notice all that score line still came through, so we're going to hit continue. I'm going to cut out using medium cardstock. Most patterned paper is medium cardstock, which is about between 55 and 85 pounds, if you're concerned about poundage. But most pattern paper comes in that way. And unless it's like something like a watercolor paper or something very special, then you should choose medium cardstock. So in this case, that's what I'm going to choose. Now you'll notice that I have up here, it says load tools and materials. Remember, I'm on a Maker. So immediately Design Space knows that I have a Maker. It maybe doesn't know that I have a scoring wheel, but it's going to suggest it. Okay, now if you have a Maker but don't have a scoring wheel or don't want to use it, you can always edit your tools. And that is by hitting this Edit Tools feature and choosing Scoring Stylus. Okay, and you'll see it goes to Scoring Stylus, which goes in the left-hand clamp, which is clamp A. Okay, but in this case, because I want to show you about the scoring stylus, I am going to choose the scoring stylus. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to put in my mat, which is 12 by 12, and it does scoring first, remember. So scoring goes first and then cutting, which is kind of weird, but that's just the way that it is. So I'm going to move you over to my Maker so that you can see what I do to do the scoring, okay? All right, so I'm moving you over. You can't see the screen, but I don't think you need to. And here is my mat, which I have with this adorable kitty cat pattern on it. And I'm going to put it into my machine. And you can't see the screen, but it's asking me to put in my single scoring wheel, which is this. And remember, there's single, there's double. This is the adaptive tool system. It comes off like this. And if you have a lot of tools like I do, you might want to consider getting one of these because it's really cool. You can keep all your tools in there. And then on the bottom, you can keep your tips. So that's a great little product they just came out with this year. So I'm going to take my scoring wheel. I'm going to open my clamp, which is clamp B. This is clamp A. You notice that I already have my scoring stylus in there. I keep it in there because when I'm making cards, I use the stylus. When I'm doing something that has a lot of scoring, I use the wheel. So I'm going to open clamp A, take out my blade and housing, and then I'm going to align these little cog things, the teeth of this cog, into the back of the machine. See the cogs here? So we're just going to align it. And you do need to be careful about this because actually I have put it in too high and it caused a problem with my machine. It needs to rest with that collar on the top of that clamp. Hold it in with your finger and make sure you close the clamp solidly. And it's a pretty tough clamp. If it does become loose, you can tighten it. There's a tighten thing here, but mine hasn't untightened in all the time that I've had it. So now I'm ready to go, and I'm going to hit that blinking light. Let me just move over here. I'm going to hit the blinking light, and the machine and Design Space will be detecting the tool. So if, for instance, I didn't take out my blade, it will tell me, you didn't take out your blade, Rita. You got to put in the scoring wheel if you want to go any further. Now, this might be a new concept for you if you are an Explorer owner, because generally speaking, you don't take out your blade and housing except if you have the foil transfer kit, and now you are loading and unloading that foil transfer kit in there, and so you get a feel for what it's like to have a maker, and it's a great introduction to seeing how the maker works with that foiling. Does that make sense? And yeah, I hope that makes sense. So now it's doing all the scoring. Remember, scoring first. Okay, yeah, deep cut blade, Dorothy. Not many people have the deep cut blade, although it is useful. It is very useful for other things, like a thicker material. Okay, so my scoring is now done. My machine is blinking. I need to take out my scoring wheel and put back my blade and housing. Again, make sure that the top here, when I talk about the neck, that's what this is, okay? It has to be resting on the top of your clamp, because otherwise it could cause problems with cutting. If you ever have one of those things where you put and I've done this, where you've put something in the machine and it starts cutting and you're like, there's no cutting lines, definitely check to see if your blade housing is properly put into that clamp, okay? You can ask all the questions you want. Who is that? Brenda, this is what this is about. It's Cricut Chat. So that's what we do here. We ask questions and everybody hangs out and sort of answers them. Sometimes I don't see your question because I'm so busy talking, but other people will jump in and answer your question, okay? So this is what we're doing. The second step, which is the cutting, and it's going through and doing the cutting. I can feel that it's almost done, but I'm going to let it continue. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but my little wheel on the screen has been saying it's 100% cut when it's really not. And that seems like most recently that it's been doing that a lot. But so now it's really, I know 100% done because it's back to the beginning and this light is blinking. So I'm going to take this out. And here is my cutout. All right, so I'm going to just roll it off the mat. It's hard to do being in camera, but that's what I'm doing, rolling it off this mat. And there's my cutout. You may or may not see the score lines, but I see them. And while I'm showing you what to do with that piece, I am going to go and put that face piece, that black piece, in the machine and let it do its thing. And then I am going to bring you down to my desktop. Okay, so let's go to my desktop. Here we go, desktop. So while you're cutting out that face piece, so here's one that I already cut out in the, what do you call this? Haunted house. And here's one I cut out here, and then this one, and we're going to put them both together. So here is the face piece. Now what I have done is I have pre-printed this vellum. We've talked about vellum before. I love working with vellum, but I know that it's available at the 12x12 cardstock shop, but colored vellum is difficult to find in like Michael's. Sometimes you can find it in gold, but other than that, it usually just comes in this white or what's called translucent. And Michael's sells it at the store. There's like 5 or 10 sheets in that, and it's usually about $5 or $6 for the 5 or 10 sheets. I did find a pack of 100 pieces of vellum from Michael's, and I was able to use a coupon, and it ended up paying $10 for 100. So that was a really good deal for me. I have a lot of paper. Thank you, Dawn. That's a really nice compliment. I have a lot of paper. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start working on this, and I'm not sure that you can see it, but there are a lot of score lines. So we're going to go back. I mean, this was done with the scoring wheel. I mean, you still have to fold the paper. So I just think it's just a matter of, if you have the maker and you want to use your wheel, or if you want to use your scoring stylus, there you go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to fold at all the fold lines. So there are a number of them. Be careful around where this cutout is, because there are actually 2 fold lines right here. All right, and then on the sides where it's like the paper bag thing, here's what we're doing. We're folding that piece and this piece. But we're not folding it all the way, because there is our triangle. So we're just going to fold it right down to the triangle, and the triangle will sort of come up, and you just sort of fold it like this. You see? So there's our triangle. I flip it over and then rescore it on this side, because remember, I put the scoring on the front, but most of these are gonna be folded inward to make the back. Right, so here I am refolding all of the score lines, and we have our bag. So that's what we're doing. Now the bottom also, because it's the bottom of a bag, also has 4 score lines. So it's going to be all the 4 flaps go up. See that? This little tab is going to be where they're joined. And so we're just going to fold this in half. And you'll see we have that little tab right here. That's where we're going to put our glue. Okay? So it's in half. There's our little tab. And we're going to put our glue right there on that little tab. And we do this first before we do the bottom piece. Fold it in half. And by the way, work on a flat surface when you're doing bags or boxes or anything that has a very specific cut like this because, and then you can do this here to make sure that you've got the right glue there. But trying to work like this, which I can sometimes do to get in the camera, just isn't very helpful to you, and it won't yield the right results. Okay, so there is our bag. It's sort of a sleeve right now, and we're going to fold in the bottoms like this. We can put a little tiny bit of glue on these small pieces, fold them in. If it's helpful, you can, open it up like this just to get them to stick. I usually don't do that part, but it might be helpful. Yeah, it might be helpful. And then the last of the 4 panels, or the 4 box bottoms, gets a little bit more glue. Make sure it's squared off on the bottom. You see that? And that's your bag. All right. So the face itself, which I've cut out, is I'm using this vellum. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this by hand. I'm going to cut using my regular scissors. Just going to cut the vellum like this. It's just enough. I want to cover the back of this, right? And I don't need as much of this, so I'm just going to cut off a little bit and just sort of make sure that it's going to fit. You don't want it too big over the back, and you don't have to be so precise about this as long as it covers the back, you see? All right, and then what we're going to do is take a little bit of glue, and we're going to do this outside piece like this. See that? This is because of the vellum. Not a lot of glue, okay? Just a little bit, and then you're going to catch a few of these pieces and just dot some glue there. Actually, those dots are a little bit big, actually, so kind of not liking that. So here's my vellum. There's the colored side, and I'm going to press it down. This is the back. Don't use a lot of glue. Vellum can get very crinkly if you use too much, and you will not like your end result. Okay? And there you go. There's the face of your bag. So then we can take this finished bag with that opening, and we'll just kind of pair it up here. Flip it over and do a little bit more glue around the outside edge. And we're going to place it on. And if it helps, which it helps me, you can turn it over and sort of use your fingers to make sure that it sticks to that inside edge, okay? Party foil wouldn't be opaque. You wouldn't be able to, it would be opaque, so you wouldn't be able to, it wouldn't be translucent. Although you can use tissue paper for this. You could, I think somebody mentioned wax paper. I've actually used, I don't know if you guys know this, like when you work in the theater and they have the lighting, they have red and blue, and I don't even know what they call them. We used to call them gels, which were they were kind of like acetate, very thin though. I've used that in here, where did I get that stuff? From Walmart? Maybe. Obviously, vellum would be great, but you can use parchment paper if you don't have vellum, or try tissue paper. And you could always leave it open if you wanted to. I mean, it wouldn't have the same effect, but you could leave it open. And that is that. Let me just show you that again with our kitty cat one. Again, we're going to fold it on all of these fold lines. Here we go. So we're doing the front, like the ones that are vertical. These ones here are the toughest ones because they're really skinny. And then this one and our side piece. Yep. And then we're going to do the bottom flaps. And did I do this one? I didn't. I always forget one. Here we go. Okay, flip it over. Make sure that you do the scoring on the back. Flip to so it lays flat. Come on. Flipping it over. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So then we fold it in half. We glue here. Boop. Glue here. Do it on a flat surface. Make sure it's completely folded in half like this. Let it set. While you're letting it set, you can take out your face piece from your machine. So here's my face piece. And I can just cut out my vellum. While I'm letting it set. Now you could do this part before you do the bottoms. Hey, you could even make a bunch of these today, or let's say you want to do the Christmas ones. You could make these ahead of time and store them flat, and you wouldn't have to worry about, oh, where am I going to put them? And I have another source for the Christmas luminary, okay, which I think what I'll do is I'll give you both. So in case you don't want to do Halloween, you want to do like Christmas or winter or whatever, New Year's, I have another source that I'll give you of those. Or you could make your own. You know, you could do your own faces and just keep this as your base, and then just change this out. Oh, yeah, that's smart, Sarah. I have dog hair all over the place. I just learned to live with it. That's what corgis are all about. So here we go. So I'm putting this on flat instead of having it all made up. So if you want to try it this way. And then we fold in the flaps when we're ready to use them. Fold in the flaps. You can put a little tiny bit on those smaller flaps. Fold in the first one. You can turn it like this if that helps. And then fold in the back one with a little bit of glue. The last one. Make sure it's squared off. And we're done. Like them? I hope you like them. I think they're really kind of cute. And they go together really well. And for me, this is going to solve my problem. And I'll put my candle ones that we did earlier in the week. I'll do those inside, and then I'll have these on my stairs. So there they are. And I only have, let's see, 4, 5. I only have 15 more to make. So let me show you also. I'm going to just finish up here and move you to the front, to my screen so you can see where to get the, let's save this. And I want to just show you where you get the Christmassy ones or the winter ones. So let's do something new. And we're going to do the image sets again. And this time, instead of typing in monster for Monster Bash, we are going to type in Merry for a group called Merry and Bright. So here it is, Merry and Bright. And there are, I think, 4 of these paper bag Luminaria, and I think they're on the bottom. So here's one with these ornaments, really cute. So we just pull that in. There's a Christmas tree. There's this house with the snow, and I think there's here's this snowflake. So they all come in. I don't know what they're sized at, but if you wanted to do this for like the winter, then you could make these all ahead, just don't close them up. The one thing I did notice about these when I pulled them in is that this one, the one that's the house, is actually incorrect. See how this here is a solid line? That's going to cut. So if you want to do the house one, you need to change those cut lines to scoring lines. Okay, so if you want to do these ones work, but this one needs to be changed to a scoring line, which is what I'm doing here. Over here I've highlighted this cut, and then I'm just going to go over here and choose score. Okay, and I've switched it over, and there you go. Okay, so that's all of our crafting for today. In case you're working on future or you're working on tomorrow, these are luminaries. I call them paper bag lights or paper bag luminaries or luminaria, whatever you want to call them. They're really adorable. They look great on your doorway, or you can, oh, by the way, if it's really windy out, you can put a little bit of sand in the bottom here before you put your little light in there, and they won't move away. They won't, run away with you, okay? So that's it for today. Tomorrow night, Halloween night, remember to come at 7 o'clock, and we are going to do candy bar holders, both for Halloween and also for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So do definitely come tomorrow night for date night if you can make it, if you're not out trick-or-treating. Thanks, guys. Thank you for coming today and spending a little time with me. Thanks to all my friends who answered questions. I so appreciate that. And we will see you again tomorrow night at 7. Happy Halloween, happy Friday, happy weekend, and all that stuff. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for the compliment. All right, take care. Bye.